We're now joined by Senior Post Producer Steph Matthews and Joint General Finance Director of Flix, Paul Hardman. It's lovely to have you both with us. Steph, people will recognise your voice from the many times you have been on Manx Radio.
I have indeed, yeah. I was here for a good couple of years before I moved over to Flix.
And tell us what you do at Flix now.
So my role is Senior Post Producer, so I'm kind of like a project coordinator. So I'm sort of the link between the client and the staff and the finished product, and just kind of making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing and it's all going well.
And before we move on, what is Flix?
So Flix Facilities, we are a post-production and animation studio.
Ooh, sounds very exciting. And Paul, you know, that sounds exciting. There's a lot more to it. We're going to find out about your latest production, which is going to be on CBeebies shortly. But just give us a sort of overview of Flix. Like, how did it all start and what do you actually do?
Well, Flix is a 27-year-old company based in the northwest of England. Most of our founders came out of a company called Cosgrove Hall, which were around doing the original Danger Mouse and Duckula and
all the good
all
ones.
All the good ones. My business partner, Leo Castley, was, he likes to say an editor. I don't really know what he did. And he will always say, oh, I worked on the original Danger Mouse, I worked on the original Duckula. I got involved with Flix about 10 years ago at a time when we employed 13 people in one site. We now employ nearly 100 people over 3 sites in Manchester, 4 if you include the Isle of Man. And we set up in the Isle of Man 18 months ago, specifically to start with our latest venture, our animation, which we'll talk about later. But we have a background in various things: children's animation. We do Songs of Praise, which is one of the longest running shows on UK television, and a lot of docudramas, documentaries, panoramas, perspectives. We do Bargain Brits Abroad. I think I'll feature in that from now on.
I was watching that last night, actually.
But yeah, there's a whole number of things that we do, from children's right the way through to high-end features.
And we were talking about animation. I think there's another Manx link there. I believe, I could be wrong on this, A.D. Bell, he of the Dome fame, used to be an animator with Danger Mouse.
And he was in Cosgrove Hall with Leo. Leo didn't see him for 20 years until we came over here.
Such a small world, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, tell us about this latest animation then. We mentioned it's going to be on CBeebies very soon. Steph, what is it?
So, Dog Loves Books. So it's based on an award-winning children's book by an author called Louise Yates. So it was commissioned by CBeebies, and ourselves and our production partners, Comics, have been working on this project for a good year, if not a little bit longer. So we're now at a really exciting time that we can actually come on and talk about it.
Feels like a lot longer.
It does feel like a lot longer, yeah. So with the process hasn't finished yet. We are still working on it, but the first half of our sort of delivery is now complete, and as we say, it's going to be on TV on Monday. So it is about 2 main characters, Dog and Pug. Dog's kind of like the boss man, and Pug is like his little assistant. They're very, very cute. They run a bookshop, and at the start of every episode, they have a dilemma or a situation or a question or something they want to find out a little bit more about. So they find a book in the bookshelf all about this situation, and they get transported into this fantasy world. So there's penguins, there's pirates, there's everything you can possibly think of.
And some famous voices in there too?
There are, yeah. So we have Dog is played by John Thompson, who a lot of people will probably recognise from Cold Feet. I think he was Coronation Street as well. And he does, you'll hear him on all sorts of adverts, voiceovers for documentaries. You may not even realise it until you look at the credits, but he does so much. He does a lot of work with Flix as well. So yeah, we're really, really proud to have him. And we've also got Craig Cash, who you probably recognise from Gogglebox. He's the voiceover on Gogglebox. So he was on The Royal Family, played David. So they're a really perfect sort of combination, I think. They really sort of suit the characters well.
Okay, shall we hear the trailer?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Dog loves books.
That's me. Are you ready, Pog?
And most of all,
I love stories that are... Whoa! Yikes!
Wowzers! Let your imaginations run wild.